Hey, I've heard you are an aspiring entrepreneur or you want to make an extra couple £1,000s per month. Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to the free Amazon training. What I'm about to do now is open up your eyes to the future you could potentially have if you put the hard work in. I'm about to go upstairs on my laptop and show you exactly that.
Welcome, my name is Adam Pearson. I've been selling on Amazon now for almost 3 years. And over these 3 years, I've managed to amass around £1.5 million in sales at a relatively good profit margin as well, at around 16-17%. Now, I've designed this webinar just to basically show you a bit about Amazon, a little eye-opener about it, the potential of it, and basically what's holding you back from starting. I also have a little gift at the end for you guys, so make sure you stick around for the whole video. Drop things in the comments as and when you need, and also have a pen and paper as well if you do need that as well. So, first things first, why Amazon FBA presented by myself? As I said, I've been doing it for around 2.5 years now. And here are some of my results. I am living proof that this does work. So here on the left, we've got 6,000 units of one product which I've sold over the past 12 months. This is one product, guys, one product. You know, this generates me £4.21 in profit per unit, and I sold 6,085. It's crazy numbers, crazy stuff. And that generated me over £25,000 in profit over the past 12 months. So I want you to either like write this down or put it in the comments. What would that do for you? How would that help you? And what difference would that make in your life? Would it excel a lot more? Would it make things good for you? Or would it not be too much of a big thing for you? Now, I probably guarantee that a lot of people watching this, it would be a huge help for you guys. Now, this is my best ever selling product. So don't be fooled that, you know, every product's going to be like this. I have about 50 or 60 products, and this is the best ever selling one. But I also do have loads more which are perhaps not as good, but I have loads more. And now here on the right, I have my best ever day of sales, £5,200 in a single day in sales. Now, sales guys, don't be fooled again of all these orange bars that you may see online. You'll see a lot of people talking about these sales, but £5,200 in sales in one day at around an 18% profit margin. That's £1,000 in profit in a single day. Now, if I can manage to keep that up for the whole month, that's £30,000 in profit per month. And that's what I'm aiming for towards the end of this year. And it is going really well at the moment. I'm hitting a plus 3K days every single day. And I intend to hit 5K days every single day as well towards the end of this year from you guys watching this. But yeah, absolutely cracking day. And this was while I was traveling as well. Amazing stuff. So as you can see, guys, I am living proof that this actually works. And I know several other people and several other people that I've also taught and helped with their Amazon business, which I'm also going to get onto on the next slide. People that I've helped, people that I've mentored. So yeah, not just me, my students also. So one of my mentees, Oliver. So he already had a successful Amazon business before, you know, coming to work with me. He was doing very well, but he was kind of stuck, looking for new strategies and stuff. But he came to me at the end of the day. I helped him, mentored him, and next thing you know, he's been managed to add £2,500 in profit to his business from the result of my teachings. As you can see here, you got one product here at the top, £976 in profit a month. These are the past 30 days results for him. There's 140% return on investment. Where can you get 140% return on investment, guys? Just let us know. Let us know in the comments. Write it down. What sort of returns can you get from like the stock market, buying a house? Can you get 140% ROI? You can't even get this second one, 42% ROI. It's crazy. So as you can see, these first two products are making him almost £1,000 in a single month in profit. This is net profit after all of his costs. All of his costs. We're not talking just about sales here. You can see the sales on the left-hand side. You can see the profit on like in the middle here. And then the final one's £603 in profit every single month. And these are just the ones that he's added from my teachings. Now, he was probably making a few £1,000s as well before my teachings. So he's probably making upwards of what, like £6,000-7,000 now. And as you can see on the right here, this was just one of the days he had. You can see on the 8th of June 2023, he had £876 in sales, a profit margin, well, a profit of £216. So if he kept that up, guys, that'll make him £6,500 in a single month in profit. Now, how would you like that? Would you love that? Like, how much of a difference would that make to you? Okay, guys, write that down, drop it in the comments. That's absolutely awesome results from Oliver. And we've just got another student of mine, Daniel. Now, Daniel, did come from me from the beginning. He had a little bit of experience with Amazon, but once again, he's managed to add 3 new products as well. Managed to add a little bit more. I need to sort of catch up with him on this, but 3 products also, and he's managed to add £300 in profit to his life every single week, £300. So that's £1,200 a month that he's managed to add to his life. So that's a huge difference to a lot of people as well. £1,200 a month. It's not a particularly small amount of money for someone that's just working a 9 to 5 job at all by any means. As you can see at the top, sales £877. £121 in profit, and that's 166% return on investment. You've seen these high returns on investments, but if you also come down and look here at the bottom, he's got one at 23% return on investment. Now, the return on investments can be huge on Amazon, it can be great, but as you can see at the bottom here, it can be fairly low for some products as well, especially some really, really great fast selling products. The return on investment can be fairly low sometimes, but even so, 23% profit margin, 23% return on investment. It's not something I'd go for, and it's not something I would advise my students to go for. However, it's probably just compromised a little bit because it sells real, real good. But overall, guys, this is Daniel. As a result of my teaching, he's managed to add £1,200 to his business, to his life, and I'm sure there's going to be much, much more, 2, 3, 4,000 pounds in the near future. And we'll catch up with him, and we'll post more about him very, very soon. So next one is, what is stopping you? Now, before I get into it, just have a little think to yourselves. What is stopping you? Like, what do you feel like stopping you? Is it yourself? Is it, your family, relationships, money? What is stopping you? Write it down or drop it in the comments right now. Now, I do have 3 things which I've split this up into, and the first one is limiting beliefs. I don't think I'm good enough. That is a limiting belief that a lot of people will tell themselves. I'm certainly told myself quite a lot of these things as well, all of the ones I'm going to show you, but it's about overcoming them and not listening to that inner voice in your head, because that inner voice in your head is always, always negative. Always negative. You've got to put that in the back of your mind and just go against it. So the first one is, I don't think I'm good enough. Have you ever heard of that? Have you ever said that to yourself, or have you ever thought that? I don't think I'm smart enough. Very similar to the first one. I don't know where to start. Guys, not a lot of people know where to start, but if you are on this webinar, that's great. You are in the right place. I'm very experienced with Amazon. You don't know where to start. I could probably be one of the stepping stones for it, whether that not be me, whether you go somewhere else, completely fine. But you are in the right place. You're trying to learn about it, so you do somewhat know where to start. It is learning from people who are doing better than you. So the next one is, I will not be able to speak with suppliers. I do resonate with this one quite a lot, because before I started, I did worry a little bit. I did worry a little bit about, how things are going to go down with speaking to suppliers. I don't know how to speak to them. I will not be able to speak to them. But at the end of the day, you're probably not going to be able to know how to speak to them at the start. It's all the learning curve, doing it several times and learning and building from that. You're not going to just be able to speak with suppliers great straight away. Now, I'm at a point now where I'm absolutely awesome at talking with suppliers. I don't think there's been a time in the past like 3 months where I've not managed to get a trade account open, which is absolutely awesome as well. So they're all the limiting beliefs, all the quotes. If you've heard of any of them, let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know in the comments, or write any more down, or write any more that you might have told yourself, which I've not perhaps put on here. But I've got another section here now, and it's doubts. So you have limiting beliefs and doubts. They are fairly similar, but they do differ ever so slightly. So these doubts are you basically questioning yourself, like, what if I fail? What if I fail? Have you ever thought that to yourself when you're sort of doing something or you about to start something or trying to start something that you truly want to start? What if I fail? What if I fail? Has that ever stopped you from doing anything? If it has ever stopped you from doing anything, what? Drop it in the comments, write it down. What has it stopped you from doing from yourself asking, yourself these questions? What if I fail? I've certainly asked myself these questions, but like I said, I've had to sort of put them in the back of my mind and tell my brain to shut the fuck up, basically. What if I fail? Yeah, you might fail. You honestly, you might fail. There's been times where I've almost had to close my business. There's times I've lost tens of thousands of pounds in a single month. I was close to failing, and maybe what was a slight failure, but those failures are what you overcome to become successful, guys. All right, so that's the first one. What if I fail? Next one is what if I lose money? Like I just said, I've lost tens of thousands of pounds in a single month before. What if I lose money? You might. You might, but you also might make a load of money. So instead of asking yourself these questions, what if I lose money? Or what if I fail? You might. And you probably will at some point, but you might make money. You might make money as well. What's better? Losing some money and making some money and overall coming out a lot more on top, or staying not taking any risks, staying very, very comfortable, and you won't fail. Maybe you won't fail, and maybe you won't lose any money, but you're not going to make any money, and you're not probably not going to become successful at all. So, what do you think's better? I personally think if I make a load of failures, if I lose a load of money, but I also make a load of money, and then I learn from my mistakes, I personally think that's so much better. So much better. So next one is what if my products don't sell? What if my products don't sell? Now, I thought this initially before I sort of started Amazon, but when I invested in myself into correct mentoring and basically helping myself, then I, I basically realized that that gets mitigated quite a lot. Before you send in products in, there's ways to actually validate those products to ensure that they're going to sell and they're not just going to be stuck in Amazon. You're going to know they're going to sell before you send them in, especially if you're doing something like wholesale. Now, some of the things that you can think about when trying to validate is the reviews. What the reviews like? Are they good? Have they got any recent reviews? Has there been some reviews this month? Because if you think about it, how many of you guys will actually leave a review on a product? And a lot of the time, if there is a review, it's usually a negative review. It's usually a negative review. So if there's a few reviews in a single month for a product, and it's been consistent over the past few months, then does that not signify to you guys that it does sell or there's people buying it? Because I'd say on average, less than 1% of people will leave a review. So if there's one review a month and there's 30 days, quick maths, 1%, selling at least 100, or at least 100 a month. I don't know. That's just quick shit maths. But you can see it is selling if somebody is leaving reviews consistently every single month. Next thing is, what if the supplier stops selling to me? This is mainly for like selling on Amazon. What if the supplier stops selling to me if they find out that you're selling on Amazon? A lot of the time, once again, if you're dealing and handling things in the correct way, which is what I teach my students, it's completely fine. This never really happens. Same with the products not selling. It doesn't really happen as long as you're learning in the right ways. Now, the final one is bullshit. I'm just going to be direct. A lot of us tell ourselves a load of bullshit. A load of bullshit. The first one is, I don't have time. You do have time. A lot of people have, even if it's 30 minutes, an hour, you've got time. Everybody's got time. I've even told myself this bullshit. I've told myself this bullshit. I don't have the time. I do have the time. Or if I don't have, if I have very little time, I can make the time. I can make the time somewhere. You have to sacrifice things, especially if you want to become successful or you want to make something out of Amazon FBA or not just Amazon FBA, life or business or something like that itself. You do have the time and you can make the time. You just need to sacrifice. You need to sacrifice. It doesn't work, is the next one. Well, that one doesn't, it's not even valid. It obviously works. I've been doing it for almost 3 years. The sales that I've gotten, the sales that I'm consistently getting is absolutely awesome. So, does it work? Yes, it does. And then it ties into the second one, the third one, it's a scam. You do hear that a lot online, and we have sort of created a reputation, like the whole Amazon FBA space on social media, TikTok and Instagram. It's kind of created that sort of aspect of it is a scam. Mainly because there is a lot of scammers in this industry. You know, there is a lot of scammers in this industry, and it's a shame. And it's just part of it, guys. It's part of it. There's a lot of what would you call them, unlawful or people with no morals on TikTok, Instagram, and stuff, and they'll just sell you courses without really knowing too much information about Amazon itself. And the final one, I don't have any money. Now put that in there because it sometimes it is bullshit. I've told myself that I don't have any money to start some things in the past. When I did have £500,000, £2,000. I did have the money, but I just didn't want to sacrifice that money. I didn't want to invest that money. It's not a sacrifice, it's an investment in yourself to go ahead and make more. I've told myself that I don't have the money before, and it's kind of held me back with some things, investing into some trainings, and maybe perhaps I could have been even further where I am today if I invested even more money into myself, into learning new things. Now, I've spent over £30,000 on personal education, business advice, and stuff like that. And that's probably one of the reasons which has led me to become so successful at this and become so knowledgeable and stuff because I've kind of left my ego at the window and basically said, look, you're better than me at this. I will pay you to help me. I want to learn from you. There's the money, and you get that even exchange. You get that even exchange and you invest the money. So I don't have the money. A lot of the time it's bullshit. Honestly, I know some people may not have the money for things, 100%. And that's why I have a free gift for you guys as well at the end of this live stream. So make sure you're still sticking around. But I don't have the money. A lot of the time, if someone has a few £1,000s, a lot of the time, they just don't want to sacrifice it. They don't want to invest it. They don't want to take that risk. Don't want to take that gamble. So, what's stopping you? Your limiting beliefs, your doubts, and your bullshit that you're telling yourself. These are three things which are stopping you, perhaps holding you back in life just in general, guys. So, next slide. My biggest successes. Now, I've talked about the results I've had, but some of the successes that I've also had as well. So, I've been able to travel to Thailand for a few weeks last year. It was absolutely awesome. As you can see, some of the beaches here. That's the beach where Romeo and Juliet was shot, I believe. And the next one is in a sky bar in Bangkok in Thailand as well. So I've managed to systemize the business, which is awesome, and also, the free gift that I have at the end, we'll talk about systemizing your business. I'll talk a little bit about it in this presentation as well. But I've got so far now that I've got people working for me, and a lot of the things that I want to do or have to do is all from the laptop. So why would I have to stay here in the UK? So second one, I was able to buy my dream car, a Ford Mustang, which is something I wanted from very, very young. Then finally managed to get my own warehouse and then hire employees, which was about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago now. I was originally started from home, which you can do, guys. You can start Amazon FBA from home. I want you guys to know that. I started from home, went to an office with some storage containers, and now I ended up in this, which is awesome. Been there, I think 1.5 years now, going very, very well. We got some racking in there. Got my own office in there. We have a toilet, kitchen. It's great. It's great, guys. So these are my biggest successes. There are way, way more, like I don't know, material things. I bought a watch, or I've been on several more holidays and stuff. But I can't fit them all into this, and I want to give some value to you guys. Example product that I found in literally less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes it took me to find this product. It was very, very easy. Not the best product in the world, but it's something which, after I've shown you this whole slide, if you found 10 of these, you may be able to quit your job. So first things first, found the product on Amazon which had relatively low competition, and okay sales using my product research methods. Now this is just from using Jungle Scout and using a few filters, which I can also, just tell you now. To be fair, just looking for products which are perhaps over like £5 or £6. And if you have Jungle Scout or seen it before, you can just put filters off products which you're looking for. So price is one of them, sales per month. So you can put literally look for products, show me products only over £10 and that sell only more than £200 a month and that have 4 or 5 FBA sellers on it maximum. Now for this one, I did like £6, I think, £6 minimum price because I didn't want things to be too cheap. And the sales per month I put as I think around 100, and the maximum sellers is around like 5 or 6 from the top of my head, and that's what I put in my Jungle Scout filters. And I came across this one pretty quickly. It has okay sales, which you'll be able to see very, very soon. And I managed to find this product from a supplier. I got an account open with them. So as you can see here, it says Kingfisher. The brand is Kingfisher. So I managed to find, typed in Kingfisher birdhouses, I think, off the top of my head. Kingfisher birdhouses or Kingfisher outdoors or Kingfisher something to do with that sort of niche, and then put wholesale UK or manufacturer UK, and you basically come across suppliers and you contact them and get accounts open with them. Now, how are you getting accounts open with them? Just call them, introduce yourself, tell them what you do, try not to mention Amazon too much, and you'll get an account form. You'll fill that out, and then yeah, you'll be able to get prices from them, like I'm doing right here now. So I sent them an email, saying I want to purchase X amount of these to see if they can give me a discount. I then found a supplier, opened an account, and inquired for a specific product to see what's the best price. So I can offer you a bespoke price of £1.75, which is for one unit, and there's 2 units on the listing, as you can see. So that would be £3.50. That's excluding VAT. A lot of the time they will give you prices excluding VAT, so just keep that in mind. So it's £3.50 excluding VAT. Then the next thing is the price is £1.75 for one, so two, £3.50, and we would sell it at £10.99. Now, a lot of people may be confused when they see it at 10.99 when it's £9.90 on here. Now, you may be able to see it's quite small, but it's sold by Garden Mile and dispatches from Garden Mile. Now, this is a guy, what's called FBM. This guy's selling at FBM. There's nobody else selling it at the moment on FBA. So what you can do, you can come in at a slightly higher price, and you'll get what's called this buy box, even at a higher price. And even 10.99 is conservative in my opinion. I think we could get to 11.49 and make even more profit, but always being conservative on Amazon, you always should. So I've encountered for the costs in here and put all the buy prices in through BuyBot Pro. This is including VAT. So the ROI would be 37% return on investment, which is very, very average, guys, with Amazon. It's very average, this return on investment. 37% and a £1.58 profit per unit. That's very average. But like I said, I found this in 10 minutes, and if I found 10, 15 of them, that's an extra over £1,000 added to the business potentially, especially with this next one. If I just move myself out of the way here, because I've been getting in the way of a few things. So we will get majority of the sales, meaning we can add £139 to our business and rinse and repeat. Like I've said, you can go back up and find more. 88 sales per month, which is fairly accurate from my due diligence on this product. This is software. We don't always want to rely on software, but I think that is fairly accurate because I did do some due diligence as well on this product. £139 per month. Took me 10 minutes to do. Now, it took me 10 minutes to do because I already had a account with this supplier, which is great. But overall, it took me 10 minutes just to find this opportunity. And then contacting the supplier doesn't take long either, guys, at all. But £139 a month profit, per month. Potential. Don't get me wrong. People might come onto this listing, destroy the price and stuff, which happens a lot of the time. But overall, if you found 10 of these, you'd be onto a good start to potentially leave your 9 to 5 and yeah, crack on and build yourself a better life. Now, put in the comments and write down how how hard do you think this is, and do you think you could do this, and do you think it looks easy? Because the whole process of it to understand is fairly simple and fairly easy. It's just the execution. Managing an FBA business. Now, it's not easy to manage an FBA business at all. So when you start, you may get results fairly quickly, but managing it is a whole nother thing, guys. So simple things like working out your numbers are things that people do neglect. And it can lead to no profit being made at the end of the day. I see it a lot of the time on Amazon. I know where a lot of people buy their products because I have accounts open with huge brands, huge manufacturers, and I know for a fact that some people aren't perhaps buying from the huge manufacturers that I am, yet they're selling very much cheaper than me, and also yeah, they're selling much cheaper than me. They're not paying anywhere near as much as I'm paying, and also the profit on it is very slim anyway. And there's people undercutting me in situations like this, and it really doesn't make sense because people do not know the numbers. You could buy something for £5 on and then sell it on Amazon for £10, and you could be losing money. You could buy something for £5 and sell it for £15 on Amazon and still lose money. It depends on your fees. You need to know your fees, know your numbers. It really depends how big it is on that point. That is a extreme example. But at the end of the day, guys, you need to know your numbers. Now, what goes into your numbers is your buy price, all of your fees, all of your fees, guys, the prep, the shipping to Amazon, um, storage costs, employee costs, but it's a bit further down the line. So you need to take all these into consideration, guys. So if you're selling something for £10, you need to minus off your buy price, which might be £5, your fees, which might be £4. That leaves £1 left. Then your shipping to Amazon, which may be 10 pence per unit. And then your prep, which may be 10, 15 pence per unit, and you're getting down to about 70 pence per unit profit per unit when you're spending £5, and that's really low margins, guys. Really low returns on investments. So you need to really know your numbers and ideally only go for like at least a 30% return on investment, guys. Unless you have a lot of capital and you're willing to take like 20% return, but not a lot of people do. And plus to scale faster, you're going to want to go for those higher return on investment products. Next thing is staying in stock. Now, this is really key for Amazon, staying in stock. It's good for basically keeping the bestseller rank up on Amazon, which is what I talk about a lot in the course. Staying in stock is key, and it's also key to give yourself a consistent income as well. Because if you're just going out of stock all the time, you may make a couple £100 in a week in profit, but then the next week you might not make any profit because you haven't got any stock. So you need to be thinking about staying in stock and forecasting your purchases and making sure you can stay in stock for a full month potentially. Second thing is building relationships, and this can lead to much better things basically, better pricing, exclusivity, which is what I'm going to be talking about all in the free gift at the end of this webinar. It's a very advanced strategy on Amazon. Once you've learned about Amazon, you can potentially, once building relationships with suppliers, you can start thinking about pitching to them to be the only seller on Amazon for their products, and you get all the sales and no competitions there, no undercutting happens. How does that sound, guys? How would that sound to you guys? Drop it in the comments or write it down. So order before anyone as well. I put that down as well because from building relationships in the past, um, when a high demand product sells out really fast on some suppliers, if you've got a good relationship with them, you can perhaps order loads more before anyone else gets that chance. You just basically get first dibs in a way. Managing cash flow. Now, this I want to tie it into staying in stock. Managing cash flow can be tough. Now, a few things you can do to manage your cash flow is one, create another income, have a job potentially to give you more and more money for working capital to be starting with Amazon. You can have a lot of capital to begin with. That's easier said than done. Perhaps raise capital, borrow money of friends, family, or this, that, and the other. Just because staying in stock can be hard if you have a small amount of capital, because it takes Amazon a while to give you your money back once you've made it, about 2 weeks. So in the beginning specifically, managing your cash flow with Amazon can be kind of hard. And then finally, I think this is finally staying organized and productive. And it's what I talk about in my FBA growth guide as well, which is all going to be in the free gift as well at the end of this webinar. Staying organized and productive is key, mainly when contacting suppliers. I used to contact 50 to 100 suppliers a week, and I wouldn't know who I've contacted. I literally I'd go out and contact them all, and I wouldn't really keep track. And sometimes some of these suppliers would call me, they'd email me back, or they'll say who they are when they're on the call, and I'll be like, okay, I don't know, I don't actually know who it is, who it is that I'm speaking to. Whether I'm keeping up things organized, keeping things documented. If they call up, say they're from X company, I can quickly be like on my laptop, oh yeah, I've contacted them for this product while on the phone. It take a couple of seconds, and I can see why I contacted them for what product, and potentially what other products as well. So they were all the things to manage an FBA business. I think they are all key things. Then I think this next one is how to grow an Amazon business. Growing an Amazon business. So managing one is cool. And yeah, it'll get you so far, but you need to start thinking about growing an Amazon business as well. And the first thing you got to think about is even starting an Amazon business and growing one, it's both the same. They're not easy. It's not easy. You'll see a lot of people online, a lot of things online saying, oh, it's easy, or you can buy things for X, you can sell it for Y and make Z profit. Yeah, you can make it, you can make this money, but it's not easy at all. A lot of things go into it. Although it is simple and easy to understand, the execution and making money consistently and going to grow is not easy at all. It's very, very hard, in my opinion. And a lot of people, a lot of my friends, a lot of my mentees will also back that up as well. Next thing is to grow, you must delegate and systemize. Now, I talked about that very, very early on. Delegate and systemize basically means like hiring people to do the jobs which you don't need to be doing as a business owner to grow the business. So, let's say, for example, packing for me, packing and prep, packing products, putting products in a 2 pack or a 3 pack or whatever, labeling them and sending them out to Amazon. I don't do any of that, and I haven't done that for almost a year because you need to delegate and systemize. Because if I was doing all that packing and prep, if I was doing all that packing and prep, then I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have been able to grow it as much as I have now. I wouldn't have been able to source as many products. I wouldn't have been able to contact as many suppliers. I wouldn't have been able to speak to them on the phone as much. I wouldn't have been able to do all these things if I didn't grow, if I didn't delegate and systemize my business. It's really, really key, guys, to delegate and systemize your business. So one thing you can do is perhaps write down all the things that you are doing within your business, or all the things that go into running your business, and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 of how important they are at growing your business. Now, I did this exercise, and packing and prep was about 1 or 2 on the list. That was more about maintaining the business, not growing the business. And then I wrote down contacting and having meetings with new suppliers. That was about an 8 or a 9, so I kept doing that and I still do that today. Next thing is find new ways of doing things. This is key as well. We are always innovating. I've put that because we are always innovating. We found some absolutely cracking strategies within Amazon, which I've been teaching some mentees, not all, because it's very extremely advanced. And I do that on a one-to-one sort of mentoring. But there's some new ways of doing things on Amazon. Teach some in the course as well. You need to always be finding new ways of doing things. if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, you can't expect different results. I think is it Albert Einstein that says that the definition of insanity is doing things over and over and over again and expecting different results or something like that. It's very, very true. You need to find new ways of doing things and be diverse. Growing an Amazon business as well, exclusivity, kind of tied into the maintaining aspect. I'm not sure why I put it in the maintaining aspect really, but it is essential for you to grow. You know, exclusivity will give you access to being the only seller on Amazon and there being no competition. And obviously, you're going to be providing value to that brand in other ways. It's got to be an even exchange. They're not going to give you just exclusivity straight away, but that's key to growing the business as well. I think this is the final one as well. Private label and owning a brand, and it's something I'm recently getting into since the start of 2023. So owning a brand, growing a brand and stuff, you got to be thinking about that for the future. Now, initially starting off with arbitrage and wholesale is fantastic. It's great and it'll make you money. But in the future, you need to start thinking about private label, potentially building a brand. Because it's going to be worth something in the future and potentially you'll be able to sell the brand in the future. Whereas with arbitrage or wholesale, you may not be able to sell your business because what do you own at the end of the day? Not much. Finally, look at investments and raising capital. This is actually something I've done a few times. Perhaps got investment from a family member, or I took a £23,000 loan out at the back end of 2022 just to invest in more products to grow my business. So, should you take action? That's the question. Should you take action? So, from this whole thing, do you think you should take action? It's completely up to you guys at the end of the day. Completely up to you. So the choice is yours. Do you want to be where you are now, or do you want to become successful? Do you want to make some more money? Are you happy with where you are? No one's forcing you to do anything. No one's going to do it for you either, though. But you, at the end of the day, you make your own choices. You decide everything. No one's going to decide for you. And the longer you wait, and the longer you procrastinate, the more ahead someone else is going to be. That's the mindset I sort of had before I started. If I don't take this action now and I take it in 6 months' time, the guy that took the action now is going to be way more ahead than me. So if you're not taking action now, the other person, whoever that may be, they're just going to be way ahead very, very soon. So I want you to write these things down and answer these questions. So write these down, answer these questions, guys. First one is, do you want to stay where you are right now? Do you want to stay where you are right now? Now, in my opinion, where I was 4 years ago, I didn't really. I wasn't particularly unhappy with where I was, but I particularly didn't want to stay where I was for, the next 30, 40 years. So, do you want to stay where you are now? And I imagine for a lot of people that would be no. I imagine. I'm just imagining. So next one. Are you happy with where you are at now? Write this down and put it in the comments. Are you happy with where you are now? Now, being happy is key in life, I'd say. You're not going to be happy all the time, but your job or what you do to make money does somewhat make, I don't want to say it buys your happiness, but are you happy with where you're at now? It will be a determining factor of what you're doing. It will make you happy or not, for the majority of the time. So are you happy with where you are at now? Now, for a lot of people as well, sadly, this is just talking average. A lot of people will not be happy with where they're at now because they're perhaps in a 9 to 5 that they hate, or they just hate the job in general. They're doing night shifts, or they don't really have much time because they're doing the 9 to 5. They get home, they maybe have to work another job. They have their kids to look after. They perhaps want to put some exercise in there as well. Are you happy with where you're at now? And are you able to do the sort of things that you want to do? So, you've answered those questions. Do you want to stay where you are right now? And are you happy with where you're at right now? But What does life look like for you in 5 or 10 years if you carry on like you are? What does it look like? So let's say, for example, you stay where you are right now, working a 9 to 5 job, or you're perhaps unhappy. 5 or 10 years down the line, you continue to do the same thing, slave away in a 9 to 5 job for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You continue to slave away. You're not particularly happy. You've answered the question, are you happy with where you're at now? Perhaps you put, I'm unhappy. My I don't know, like you're losing relationships, or that they're getting tarnished because perhaps don't have a high self-esteem, and you're not happy with your job, and you're not happy with your life. Take that forward 5 years, 10 years. Where's that going to put you? Is that just going to make you even more? You're going to be more and more unhappy. You're going to be more and more unhappy, guys. Like what? How are you going to be? How are you going to be? And then the next one, in 5 or 10 years, when you've sort of looked at yourself and envisioned yourself 5 or 10 years in the future, if you carry on like you are right now, are you happy with that? Are you happy with that, how you are right now? And if you imagine yourself 5, 10 years in the future, still being the same way, maybe you've had a small promotion, you've got an extra 50p per hour raise. Are you still happy with that? Are you happy with that still? So answer all them questions, and ask yourself once again, should you take action? Should you take action now to change your life? I'm not saying, guys, just with me either. I'm honestly not just saying with me, but I mean, I can definitely, certainly help you with free gift that I have, and perhaps further training. But whether that would be with me or with anyone else, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Are you happy with where you're at now? And in 5, 10 years, are you still going to be happy with what you have now? And perhaps maybe you are. Great. If you are, fantastic. And if you are happy with where you are now, but you do want to make more money, ask yourself that. Where do you see yourself in 5, 10 years time as well? And all of it should link back to, should you take action? Should you take action? And I want you guys to put some answers to that in the chat. Maybe not answers to all of them or all of them. And again, should you take action? So, what should you do next after you've asked them questions to yourself and answered them? So, if you're still around, congratulations, I do have an opportunity for you. So, the next thing you can do is go ahead and schedule your free call now. If you're someone who's ready to start taking some action, then you know what to do. You need to go ahead and click the link that is below this video. You can actually go ahead and schedule a call with myself or somebody in my team who I really do trust. We put together a personalized sort of roadmap for yourself, for your business, and your Amazon FBA journey. So if that sounds interesting to you, once again, I urge you to go ahead and click that link below. Do not waste your time. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go and make this together. So go ahead, go and book that call, and I look forward to seeing you. Peace out.